So the first thing I need to do before I install Windows 10 on any machine is I need to make a media for installation. So I go to Google and search up Windows 10 ISO, and then I click on the thing that says Microsoft. And here we go. We want to use the download tool. We don't want to update it. Save and run. Are you sure you want to run? Yes. And here we go. Accept the license agreement. Now we don't want to upgrade this machine. It's already Windows 10, so there's no point in that. I want to create a new installation media for another PC. I need to make a 32-bit media for the laptop I'm installing, but you should probably leave these settings unchanged. I'm going to make a USB flash drive, and that's the drive I'm going to use. This is obviously going to take some time to download, so I'll just speed it up a bit because we don't want to sit and wait for it. And it's ready. Time to move on to the laptop. I want a totally fresh installation of Windows 10 on this laptop. I don't want any traces of files from an old operation system or any user documents lurking around. So I want to blank this hard drive. And there's a million ways of doing that, but I like to use Hirens 15.1 BootCD. So I'll just pop that in my external drive and boot it up. On most computers today, you can press a key to bring up the boot menu before the operation system starts up. Now I'm repeatedly pressing F11 to get into the boot menu. And then I'm choosing my Pioneer DVD drive, because that's where the disk is in. And here comes the menu. I choose Windows XP. There's a lot of other tools on this disk I could use to manipulate the hard drive, but I find there's a certain irony in using Windows XP to blank out Windows on the hard drive. Again, there's no reason for us to sit and wait for it to load, so I'll just speed up till we get to the good part. This Windows XP is booting up from the Hirens CD. It's not booting up from the hard drive, just keep that in mind. Now to visualize what's going on the hard drive, I'm gonna fire up the disk management. And as you can see, we've got a hard drive number 0, and it's got 4 partitions on it. I could just delete them right here, one by one, but I want to be thorough, and there's a quicker way. I'm going to open command prompt, and I'm going to use a Windows tool called DISKPART. Let's see how many disks we have. We've only got one. It's got the ID number 0, like down here. Let's see the partitions. And, well, it needs to be selected before we can view the partitions. Select disk 0 and list the partitions. As you can see, those are the same ones as down there. So all I need to do now to blank it is go clean. And there they went. Now the data is actually still on the drive. It's just a partition markup, and the directories of where the files are located, that's gone. You could actually recall the data with a tool like get data back or something similar, but when we install Windows 10 in a moment, it is totally oblivious to any of the data which was previously on the drive, so it's pretty much just going to overwrite it. To illustrate to you that the computer now thinks that the hard drive is actually blank, I'm going to disconnect my DVD drive, and I'm going to try to boot up on the hard drive. And there you go. It's pretty much saying, help me, I'm stupid. Next up is popping in my previously made Windows 10 installation media or USB flash drive. And then it's pretty much the same procedure as when we were booting up in the Hirens. Just going to turn the computer off here and turn it back on, and then repeatedly pressing F11 to get into the boot menu. But instead of selecting the DVD, because it's not there, I select the USB flash drive. I want to install a 32-bit version on this machine because it can't handle the 64. I've already tried it. And it's just about time to speed up the video again. Okay, here we go. I need a Danish keyboard, and we're gonna install now. More starting up. This laptop has previously been installed with Windows 10 Pro, so I don't actually need to type in a key here. I can just skip it by clicking skip down here. What has happened is last time I installed Windows 10 on this laptop and typed in the license key, it got paired up with the serial number of this laptop over on Microsoft's license server. So later on, when I'm activating this Windows 10, it's going to look up the serial number and find the key automatically. I actually never put in a key at this moment. I always wait till I need to activate it and then type it in. We have to accept the license terms once again, and we want to custom install Windows 10 and choose the hard drive, which the installation sees as totally blank. I'm just going to let Windows 10 set up the partitions on this drive, and then I'm going to change them later, because I want the rescue and recovery feature of Windows 10, which is installed by default, and I might not get that if I set up the partitions myself. I'll show you later on what I'm talking about. Time to speed up the video. So since we're dealing with a laptop, I'm just gonna hurry up and set up the wireless network connection. I never use the express settings here. I never do that. I always go customize and then I turn everything off, because I don't want Microsoft peeking into my files or into what I'm doing at all, or where I am. So I just turn everything off. This bit is pretty straightforward. There's a lot of stuff that Microsoft is a bit obscure about. This type of account they're talking about here is an account where your profile is stored on one of Microsoft's servers. I never want that. I always want a local account on my machines like the ones we used to have on Windows 7. So I'm just going to go ahead and skip this step, and what happens is I get presented with a new screen where I can set up a standard Windows 7 local profile. This laptop is going to go to my sister, so I'll just put in her name. No thank you, I don't like Cortana, and I'm pretty sure my sister will find her plenty annoying. And guess what? We've got a sparkling fresh installation of Windows 10. Ta-da! Which means that I can just take out this USB flash drive, don't need that anymore, and instead pop in this little fella, which is my intention to use as a speed boost with the Ready Boost system. There it comes, already named it. I'll just open it up just to get to the file explorer. We've got a hard drive, a C drive called local disk. I'd like to change it and call it system, because we're going to dedicate that for the Windows system only. I'm just going to reformat the Ready Boost USB flash drive to show you that it is actually not formatted in FAT32 like standard USB drives, but in NTFS, and this speeds it up immensely. Oh, that flash was Windows updating the display driver automatically, which is nice. A nice feature of Windows 10 is that we can right click the start button and go directly to disk management. That's disk 0. Notice that in front of the C drive we've got a system reserve partition, which is for the rescue and recovery feature I was talking about earlier. I'm just going to change the drive letter on the Ready Boost flash drive. Let's pick something which is rarely used by the rest of the system. Let's take B, as in Ready Boost, and let the changes take effect. There it went on the right side. No, I don't want to look at it. just going to right click the Ready Boost here on the right side and go Properties, and then choose the tab at the top called Ready Boost. You've got a number of options to set up Ready Boost. I'm just going to go ahead and dedicate this USB flash drive to Ready Boost. So it's just going to use it all. You can see it goes red. I'm going to dedicate the C drive for Windows 10 for system files and for program files. I want to separate the user files from the system files to speed up, so Windows don't have to go through all the user files to get to the system files. So I need to shrink the C drive to make room for a D drive for user files and for anything that takes up a lot of space. Now, since this is a 32-bit version of Windows 10, it doesn't need as much space on the C drive as a 64-bit. I usually give a 64-bit about 120 or 130 gigabytes. So I think I'm going to give this system 80 gigabytes for the system. Now, Windows is kind of odd here because I need to put in the amount of space I want for the D drive, not the 80 gigs I want for the C drive. So I have to sort of like calculate backwards. Yeah. And multiply it by 1024. And just type that in. Now I'm gonna install a secondary recovery system on this machine. So I'm actually gonna make two more partitions, a little one in front of a bigger one, which is gonna be the D drive. So I'm gonna just fire up an admin prompt, and then I'm gonna use DISKPART again. So that I can be precise in sizing this small partition. Select disk 0, list partition. There you go, that's the two we've got. Now create partition primary size equals 1228, and if we just check, you can see there's a tiny partition now right there. So we go back, and then I copy the line, remove the size parameter, run it again, and you'll see we've got the partition, small partition, and the big partition for the D drive. Just gonna format it, call it recovery. Notice that, yes, we want to format it. Notice that I'm not going to give it a letter, and I'm going to format that one, call that data, and I'm gonna give it the letter D. And there it comes. So now we've got the hard disk partitioned up into 4 partitions. I'm going to create a new folder, call that users, so that it mirrors the users folder on the C drive. And then I'm going to create a folder for my sister, for her profile in here. I'm going to close this down, and then I'm going to find the same path on the C drive. So we go to the C drive and go into users and fauna, and I'm going to select everything. I'm going to cut it, and we go to the D drive, and paste it. Now when I do it like this, when I use Windows own File Explorer, the Windows system is going to register that I'm moving the profile folders, I mean documents and favorites and desktop, that I'm going to move those to a different drive. It's just going to register it. I don't need to do anything more than just move them. So let's just show you that path, users fauna desktop, is actually the desktop. See? Get a new folder here and another one over here. It's actually the same folder. So I'm gonna make a new folder over there, and we get a new folder on the desktop. And just to prove it an extra time, I'm gonna rename it, and I'm gonna rename that one. So the desktop and all the other profile folders have now been moved to the D drive. So now we're actually ready to install some programs, and for that I'm going to go to a site called Ninite, where I can install all kinds of standard programs very easily. I'm going to go for Chrome and for Firefox, and Paint.net, that's a great Photoshop clone. We need Dropbox, and I like Notepad++ because the Notepad in Windows is absolute rubbish. Foxit Reader is an alternative to Adobe Reader, and Qt PDF can create PDF files. VLC Media Player, some codexes, some more. 7-zip and WinRAR. JavaScript. We don't actually need .NET because this is Windows 10, so it's already up to date. We need Avast antivirus and TeamViewer. We don't need any burner programs because this machine doesn't have a burner, so it's kind of pointless. Get your Ninite. Just wait for it to pop up. Save. and run. Oh, are we absolutely sure we want to run Ninite? Sure we are. And let's just close the browser and make this little window a little bit bigger so we can see what's going on. You can see that it's actually downloading every single add-on and program while installing the previous one. It's kind of cool. This is probably going to take forever, but the point being that you don't have to install each and every one of them manually. You can just go for a cold beer, or go fiddle with your belly button, or harass your neighbors, or whatever you want to do, and come back to it when it's done. If you don't want to use Ninite, that's up to you, obviously. But when this is done installing, you can pretty much install whatever you want, games and programs. Just keep in mind that there's intentionally not a lot of space on the C drive. It is meant to be dedicated to Windows system files and programs. In other words, user files like documents and pictures, music and video, games, and if needed, huge programs, they're all intended to go on the D drive. So I would recommend, for instance, for games, you would create a folder on the D drive called games, and when you install them, be sure to install them into that folder. The last thing I'd like to show you in this video is how to make small custom-made menus on the taskbar. Now again, it's not something you absolutely have to do, but I find it's a nice alternative to the Windows 10 app and menu system. I'm going to start by creating some folders for my mini menus, as I like to call them. And I'm going to locate them on the D drive alongside the user folder. I'm going to make a main folder called menu, and inside of that I'm going to make programs and a games folder. And then I'm going to unlock the taskbar, and I'm going to grab that path and make a toolbar pointing to that location. And you see it appears down here. And I'm going to do the same with the games folder. The key to creating these is that they're empty at this point. If there's something in them, they're going to look weird on the taskbar. So let's just move them over here. I like them to be next to the start button. It takes a bit of fiddling. They're kind of bouncy. Again, the key being that they're empty and you lock them before you put any shortcuts in them. Let's just show you the quickest way of accessing them when you want to have a shortcut on your desktop that you want to move to the menu. So I've got programs open here, the one that's located on the D drive, and it's that one down there. And let's just take these icons and move them into the folder, and you'll see a small arrow appear next to the programs menu. Let's just get all of them in here, and you can see that they've all appeared down here. So let's make some folders, structure it up a bit. We've got maintenance, for TeamViewer and virus killer program. We've got tools for not Dropbox, Foxit Reader, and Notepad++, and WinRAR. And then we've got media players. Graphics for the Photoshop clone. Google Chrome I want down on the taskbar, so let's just, oh, it's down there. Let's just pin it, remove it, I don't need it here. Firefox, that's okay and fine there. Can't seem to get rid of the store. Must be part of the new update. Nope, not letting me remove it. Okay, let's just let's move it over here, and the File Explorer. Now let's see if we, where is it? Oh, it's down here. Let's get this menu sorted alphabetically, and you can see it's nice and neat. And you can obviously do the same thing for the games menu. That's all, folks.